Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tuesday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time for a Tuesday night blether. But first, as always, a little music. Enjoy.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let a flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
Good evening, folks. I hope you're all doing well. Cozy, I hope. Nice to see you back here, Steve. Hope you're doing okay there, my friend. So yeah, another weekend has passed. The weather seems to be back to its usual. Well, usual for up here, that is. Rain, drizzle, grey skies. Yeah, I know how you feel, Steve. I know how you feel. So, I did tell you all, of course, didn't you, that Laura had been taken into the hospital the other week. Well, thank you very much, Jemima. Always nice to have a compliment, especially from a lady. James, how are you, sir? Nice to see you here. As always. Jojo. Nice to see you back, sir. Streaky. How you doing there, Streaky? All right. Is that how it appears to you, Toffee? Does that appear purple? It's not actually. It's more maroon. How's that look? That look better. Yeah, it's a nice waistcoat. I like this one. Good evening, Unchained. Looks purple, does it? Yeah. I've got quite a lot of waistcoats that were bought for me over the years. I think I've said to before. Most of them I can't wear. Well, I can wear them, but most of them I can't fasten at the front. So the best I can do with them at the moment is simply wear them here. But like everybody else, you get into habits. Not all good habits, I might add. But we get stuck in our habits, don't we? I think a lot of it, Toffee, will depend on how you're watching the stream. And I keep forgetting, I think you're one of the people, that does everything on the telephone. I'm sure it is. You're one of them that uses a mobile phone for everything. Good evening, William. How are you, sir? No, I can't say. I can't say I got that message. Opt out from Father's Day. Is that because you don't have a father? I haven't had a father for a long time. Well, I haven't had a father since I was 6. Looks purple to Jemima. Ah. Well, likewise, William. Likewise. It's purple, says Toffee. The consensus had it purple, so for those reasons we will consider it to be purple. Although it's actually wine, coloured burgundy even, but never mind. So I've been wearing waistcoats. Oh, I hate to think. Over 30 years anyway. I like them because of the extra pockets and to keep your body warm, and that's the kind of thing I need. Well, I certainly haven't had one of these emails. Oh yeah, absolutely, Jemima. I like I like wine to drink. Beautiful. Uh, I like port, sherries, and yeah, champagne, of course. Drinks made from the grape I enjoy. What what doesn't agree with me is made from the barley, John Barleycorn. Doesn't agree with me. Well, good evening, Ro. Oh, there's Johnny Rotten preparing din-dins. I couldn't even tell you when Father's Day is, to be honest. It's not something I think about. I've never had to think about it, you see. So I don't keep, there's no mental calendar tab there for that date. 16th of June. Is it really? 16th of June, Father's Day. These things are invented by the card companies. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Great Granny Day. End to sell cards. Unchained says, my local shop has been telling me the alcohol prices are going to rise soon. Home brewing is going to be the next month's new hobbies and attempt to learn a new skill. That's something that was popular when I was, what age was I? He was early 20s. Brewing beer was very popular, certainly around here where I live. Lager, really. Good evening, Robert. That's a lot of apples there, Rill. 30 apples is a lot of apples. Yeah, there used to be every other person at one time was making lager around here. Various types of wines. I'm too lazy for that, to be honest. Oh, that's a good idea, Rill. Cider. Yeah. Surely there can't be much to cider. Fermenting apples, surely. That's right, you could buy these kits, Jojo. You're absolutely right. That's what most people did. The wacky water, says William. Mead. Oh, I don't know about that one. I think I'll change to unicorn here. It's easier. Yeah, sticky. Okie doke. Well, that bad, is it, Streaky? Huh? The Errol. Any thoughts about the upcoming general election? He's asking. Do you think that we might end up with a hung parliament? That's a damn good question, Errol. Oh, there's Woodlander. Good evening, Woodlander. Well, my party isn't in any real shape to fight a general election. However, having said that, however, and on top of that, I've never, and I'm not just saying this, I have never had any ambitions to go to Westminster as an MP, right? Let me get that out of the way. But I think there's a lot to play for this time. Now, the reason I say that is because more and more people are voicing their disapproval of the one stroke two party system that we have here and how nothing changes no matter who gets in. Now, people like ourselves, we're well acquainted with this reality. But I'm not talking about people like ourselves. I'm talking about the general public. And there seems to be a lot of discontent around for many different reasons. It's not just a single reason, of course. And I only really popped in to let the Scottish lads in the chat know there's a programme on BBC 4 11 called Coming Out, a fabulous history of gay Scotland. Well, thank you very much for that information, Streaky. I'm so glad I don't have television. But thanks anyway for letting us know. Unicorn is saying, I don't know if I've mentioned this before. No, you haven't. But I like to drop it in when I can, he says. In French, parler equals to speak, stroke spoken, and meant equals lies. So Parliament is the house of spoken lies. Well, I like it. Good evening, Julia. Well, I'm with Woodlander in this, and I was going on to say that I think we're going to see a lot of people standing as independents. Right, and it's quite obvious to me that George Galloway's party is not registered with the Commission. So anybody who stands under his banner is going to be standing as an independent, and he's talking. He's talking about fielding 300 odd people. And I hope he does. I hope they manage to do that. I really do. Now, we're in the same boat. We don't have 300 people to, well, we have them, but certainly not under the banner of my party. But collectively, we could raise that if we so wished, desired. But that's not the point I was making. What I'm thinking about is, have I got the brass neck to ask people to donate for a GoFunding, fundraising for the money to stand for election? At this point, I think it would be really good for us, my party, if we could get involved. I wouldn't expect to win it. No, locally here in Inverclyde, I wouldn't expect to win against the SNP, but you can just never tell with what's going on in Edinburgh how that will affect the Westminster contingency. And I modify what I say by conceding. I don't really want to go to Westminster. You know, I just don't. That's the truth of it. I mean, I suppose I would go, right? I'd go if I was elected. I'd go if the party was there, and we, there's a lot of ifs. But under the present circumstances, I don't know if I've got the audacity to ask people like yourself to contribute to a fund to pay for me standing for Westminster. I just don't know. I don't know if I've got that kind of, as we used to say up here, I don't know if I've got that brass neck. I just don't. Very good, William. Good evening, Bass. And it would just be like the thing to for me to get elected. But again, what I learned the last time, Errol, I think everybody wants to just stop talking about that man. He's not but a gatekeeper. He's like a pied piper to get people to follow him, as many people as he can, and it's never going to be going anywhere, whatever he says. He's a distraction. Woodlander saying we'll chip in, John, just to get the party out there. But we all know it's not a winner. But if we get publicity and the chance to put our points across, well, that's the way I'm thinking, Woodlander. That's exactly the way I'm thinking. Now, I can guarantee local press, right? It's beyond that is the problem. But I think we could get some press out of it, and that's what we need. But as far as campaigning is concerned, what I learned, and this is something that you folks who live in England may not quite appreciate. Even in 2024 in Scotland, biggest part of the population, especially in Inverclyde, live in tenement buildings. Now, I'm sure you all know what a tenement building is. That's not the problem. The problem is that all the tenement buildings now have secure doors at the front, so you can't get in. It's not like the old days when you could just walk in a close and drop leaflets. Can't do that anymore. So how do you get information to those people? Well, you're back to leaflets, standing on corners and giving them out, because you can't get into the closes. And again, I'm not fit for all that walking. I did it last time myself because the girls were unwell and they're still unwell. So there's nobody here that I can call upon to help. And that's a secondary problem. And that's where I am in my mind, in my thinking. Very, very limited to how far and how long I can walk for. I don't trust them, and I never have trusted them. Fraj. He's a rich guy. Not that there's anything wrong in being rich. I wouldn't mind being rich myself. That's not the problem. But he's a rich banker. His own track record should tell you not to trust him or put any confidence in anything that he does or suggests. DJ, I'm currently in Thailand. Really? Really? Well, I know you're all willing, but that's, as I say, that is only part of the problem. So let's assume then that through contributions, the money to stand for election was achieved. How am I going to deliver flyers to Inverclyde myself? Well, I'm not. I did as much as I could last time, but I didn't. I was. I didn't have cancer last time I stood, right? I did have a thrombosis into my leg last time. So physically, I can't do very much. So that's the secondary part of the problem. But I do like the idea I do like the idea of getting the publicity for the party. And I know I'll get the local press. I know that. I mean, I've worked too long with them. They couldn't ignore me. I know that. And they wouldn't. Because there's no love lost between the local rag and the SNP. I can assure you of that. DJ, they're asking about the colour of my waistcoat. Well, that's for Woodlander. I'm not impressed, if that means anything to you. I'm not impressed by them. Thank you, Woodlander. It's burgundy. Thank you. I contacted them ages ago. And when I say ages ago, I mean before the Scottish elections. With the idea of working together. Wouldn't talk to me. Wouldn't come on a stream. I agree with Julia. We'd have a real fighting chance if you could get them all together. But you can't get them all together, Julia. This is the problem. I tried with the Scottish Party. I'm not impressed by their leader at all. Oh, there's Sir Thomas Lipton. Good evening, Sir Thomas. Yes, it's definitely burgundy. Thank you. Oh, dear. Oh, when it comes to the Scottish Party, never forget, ladies and gentlemen, that they fielded as a candidate a party member who turned out to be a homosexual porn star at one time. Not that you should be condemned for what you did in the past, of course, but it was a rather, in my view, it was a rather poor choice for the leader to make. Joker purple. Yes, it is that. It's exactly what it is. Ah. So there is not enough of us around here to deliver enough leaflets to make an impact. And paying the local press to do it costs a fair bit of money. But there are places in the town where you could stand and give them out, certainly. But my health isn't up to this. So if we were serious, then it need to be serious volunteers to come here and help with the distribution. It is an SNP, Rory Cowan, an ex-IBM worker. Unicorn. I was listening to the Cryberry Zombie earlier. I thought I heard Tommy, not Zombie. I've heard his name so much recently, it's starting to affect me, it seems. I like that Woodlander. Cranberries, right? Cranberries. So that's my feeling about the general election. I think there's an ideal opportunity here for people who can afford to lose their deposit. If I had the money in the bank myself, I'd still need volunteers to come to Inverclyde and help with the distribution. Otherwise, it would be just a waste of money. Sure, I'd get the publicity via the local press. But to make any kind of impact, we need to get our material out into the public. And I'm confident that that material we have would get the support. No, I'm confident of that. If you couple that next to the way the general public seem to be responding, good question, Robert. How many leaflets would you distribute in Greenock? Ideally. Well, if we take a population as 50,000, which I don't think it is anymore, but if we were using that as a working figure, then 20 to 30,000 leaflets. Obviously, it's one per household. Well, that's true, Treble. The trouble with that is I'm not just shooting your idea down without thought. It's because I've thought about these things. I don't trust that many people. I trust our folk to deliver. But I don't find, well, not even a post office can be trusted anymore. And I used to be a postie. But when I was a postman, there was an order and make sure that you posted all the material that was in your bag. But those days are long gone. I've seen too many leaflets lying about. Well, again, I just don't want to feel as though, make you feel as though I'm just knocking ideas down, and I'm not. I guarantee you, Treble M, I could put this to the test, and I will put it to the test. Scouts or Girl Guides, they wouldn't be allowed to do this because I would be told that they cannot get involved in politics. That's why I would be told. Now, how do I know that? Is because I've tried the churches around here to get a venue for a chess competition. Can't do it because that's what they tell me. But I'll put it to the test, Treble M. If that was to turn out to be acceptable to them, that would change a lot. But I don't think they will be allowed. It's this Anglo. You're First Minister. I support your independence. If you create a foreign legion of English men, Welsh lads, and Ulster men. Yeah, excellent. Well, that's a good one. That's a good one, Streaky. Just renamed your party Pizza for You, and you can guarantee every effing house will get a leaflet or five through the letterbox. I didn't think you're right. I'm sure you're right. But yeah, I'll see if I can find out what the official attitude is from the Boy Scouts about this. It's one of the things, Robert, that I have discussed with various people who are no longer with me over the years. What you're suggesting there, I don't think it's such a far-fetched idea either. William, I went to the pub next door and this Thai girl came in with the alive skin red dress. I thought, please don't get an erection, but she did. Oh, very good, William. Oh. Very good. So what you're telling us is that this is the kind of person that you attract, is it? Oh, well, of course we do. I thought about that sort of thing for across the whole country to even up the power dynamic. You stole the humour, did you? You stole a joke. It's funny, of course it is. But yeah, that's the it's something I've thought about. Did know that toffee for Boy Scouts in the UK were in Birkenhead, Merseyside. It's his brother you're talking about. uh, 1908. 1908. Well, when I was looking for a place for a chess, to hold the chess tournament, that was the first places I tried, was the churches. Wasting my time. Complete and utter waste of my time, as it turned out. I think the best we can hope for is that Galloway does what he says and gets those hundreds of people to stand for election. James is suggesting try a local game store. You see, the trouble here, folks, is there's nothing really local left. Everything is, well, not everything, that's an exaggeration, but so much has closed and disappeared over a long period of time. And I don't know if trying local business would produce anything but rejection. I don't know. But there are so few local businesses. That's just the fact of it. It's quite depressing, really, when you think on it. Don't have anything like that here, James. We did. It's where I did the first chess tournament last year, but it didn't last. They, maybe I told the story and you weren't here to hear it. It was two brothers that was running it. It was Magic, the Gathering, and they had the shop kitted out. It was perfect for chess tournament. I've got the photographs I could show you. And what was wrong? Well, they had these rainbow flags inside the premises. And I advised them that that wasn't such a clever thing to be in business with these flags in your premises. But they ignored me. And then I went ahead and got the publicity, the local publicity. And these two young men told me that the publicity I got was more than the publicity they got when they were opening the premises. So I got them a fair bit of publicity for the tournament because they agreed to hold it. They also agreed to do other things like make posters for the windows, which they never did. They also agreed to pay for a trophy, which they never did. But anyway, we had 22 people play in the first tournament. And what happened? There's quite a few schoolboys. And it was a schoolboy that won it. So again, I had organised the publicity so that when we had a winner, the local paper would come up and take photographs and do little interviews. It wasn't even like that, James, but I like the humour. So what happens? Well, the young schoolboy who won it was wearing a mask for the pandemic, so-called, and refused to take it off. He wore it all the time. The head teacher was there, right, watching over these youngsters, which is fine. And she told me he wears this all the time. So what happened? Well, when the local press arrived, now I know this photographer very well. He asked me what was going on. And I explained it to him that this young lad is so terrified he won't take the mask off, ever. And the school, of course, are pandering to it, and I assume that his mum and dad were pandering to it. So we never got the second round of publicity that we should have got. Oh, they went through the motions. I knew they would. They went through the motions of taking the photographs and all that. But they never appeared in the press. And why would they? You could see the lad. It was just this mask he had on. I know that duck. People have tried to tell him, but what could you do? So anyway, that was bad enough. But then what happened was business increased. And what kind of business was that? Well, there was a lot of young women were coming in, mothers with their children from school, getting plates of chips and lemonades and what have you. Things that kids like, you know. So business went up. And I kept warning them about these flags. Now, what happened? Well, the next thing that happened is the place shut. And what I suspect happened was the women who found out, when they found out what these flags were, they just stopped going. And they had quite a number at the weekend. Friday and Saturday, you would find quite a few men there with their children, men who were estranged from their children. This was their day out with the kids. So rather than go to Burger King, they would come to this place because there was games there that they could play with the kiddies. So this was all good stuff. But that all stopped, that all dried up. And so they lost the business of ordinary folk in the town. And they couldn't keep going. So it's shut. So that place as a venue doesn't exist. Well, premises are still there, but you would have to pay for it all. And that's simply because they wouldn't listen to me. So what can you do, folks? Essentially, yeah. Go woke, go broke, as they say. And I've been on the hunt for premises since then. And I can't find any suitable. There are suitable premises, but the chances of me, or the party, let's say, being able to afford them is slim. There's plenty of suitable rooms in the town hall, but as you all know, that's political, and they're not likely to give me a lease for a couple of weeks to run a tournament. The only other place that you could possibly have it is in pubs. And I don't want to do that. So at the moment, I've drawn a blank on that. That's why I haven't mentioned it, because I can't find anywhere. It's part of the result of the destruction of the town centre. The trouble is, Woodlander, we don't have such a thing. We're typical. We're a typical Scottish small town that was once an industrial town and is no longer. So the pubs were single functioned. You went there, you got drunk, and you went home. That was it. It's not like all those wonderful English pubs that I've seen and been in. There you go. The one in my town is still lying empty. Collabor 8 posters adorn the windows. I did, Unicorn. I did see that, or heard it. As I said before, I'm sure you'll understand the subtext to what I'm about to say is that could happen here quite easily. If there was a change at Edinburgh, there could be many changes such as that if there was a change at Edinburgh. It's like I've told you all before, there are many things that it is wiser not to write down in your material, and it's wiser not to talk about until you're in power. That's just the way things are. Well, I would say that's outrageous, but who am I? Well, Budgie, you may well be right. Pub halls are a thing of the future. They're certainly not a thing of the present. Not in this town, they're not. And I told you, I've already approached the church halls and it just ended up in disagreement, to be honest. When they would say to me, we don't get involved in politics. I said, well, that's strange, because Jesus did. And they don't like it. They don't like it when you know a little bit about Christianity. They just don't like it. So, and that's what I came across. What can you do? I knew there was nothing to be lost by just stating my mind and reminding them of things that went on in the New Testament that they should know all about. And he was up against a hostile government. Jesus. He was up against the Romans. They just don't want to hear these things. They just want to close their ears, put their head down, and keep their cozy little world. Yep, I was up against them as well. He was up against all of them. I know that. I do understand that. What I'm saying is that by doing that, he clashed with the political ideology of the day. It's simply by, and this is the point I kept emphasizing, I'm trying to help the people of the town to try and, even for a short while, keep them away from drugs and I would add booze. Try to do something positive here for the people of the town. And cut the ice. It didn't mean a thing. Very disappointing. That's why I don't expect any better from the Scouts. They're too much in alignment with the church. So all you could do is try, and I've tried to find a place. I can't find one. But I will try the Scouts for distribution. Oops, wrong place. John, start a town art collective. Not quite sure what you mean, Budgie. Not quite sure what that means, an art collective. There's quite a few um, communities in the town that have got pretty solid involvement with with their area. But I would have to get you to explain that a wee bit more, what you mean, Budgie. A lot of a lot of open shops. Oh, you've no idea what it's like here, folks. Honestly, a lot of open shops not being used are being given to artists rent free to pretty up the place. It's happened all over Aberdeen. I believe you. I do. But not here. No. They would rather keep a place shut. Okay, got you now, Budgie. You know what's wrong here? I've got to be honest. What's wrong here is me. I'm the one that's wrong. I'm the one that's out of step here. Because I don't have the energy that it would take to go to the council and jump through the hoops that they would ask me to jump through. I just don't have that kind of energy anymore. I'm not trying to be, I'm being negative because I'm being honest with you. I don't have that determination that I once had. And that's what it takes. Because the first thing that happens when you go along, and I've done it, this is why I know, is you get presented with a big, thick application form. That's the first thing that happens. None of that's me, sorry to say. It'd be different if there was a whole crowd of us here could get somebody to take care of that stuff. But it ain't me. I'm just not. I never have been made that way. I just haven't. When I was trying to make my little film, my little video film, I went to the council to see if I could get some money. Good evening, Ludwig. And I was completely put off by the thickness of the application form that they handed me. Yep, that's what happens, Budgie. You're absolutely right. Big, thick application forums come first. And they do. I just can't deal with that anymore. I couldn't deal with it then. That's years ago. Uh, I'm not very good when well, I'm not good at all when it comes to facing bureaucracy. Yeah, see the kind of thing there the Woodlander has done. I couldn't do that. I don't have the whatever it takes to deal with that level of bureaucracy that he must have gone through, him and the people that is involved in that project. Well, I'm always interested in publicity for not for me, but for the party. So that's a kind offer. If you want to pursue that, that would be great. Would not say no, of course. Well, there you go. Now here's a man that's done it. He's done it. He's done it personally for himself, right? That that's hard enough. But he took on this project, didn't he? Came up with the idea. But rather than just leave it hanging there as empty words floating in the sky, he goes ahead and he does something about it. Still going through, says the Woodlander, 3 lots of solicitors, blah blah, drives me nuts. Oh, drive me nuts. I don't know how you cope. I really don't. I know I couldn't. I know I couldn't do it. I wouldn't even try and pretend that I could cope with that. I applaud you just for that alone. And you've done it once already for yourself. So anyway, I applaud his tenacity. But he's a couple of years younger than me, so he's obviously still got tenacity left. I've got it for certain things, but not bureaucracy. Just couldn't cope with that. I just couldn't. Nuts and us. I suppose part of me is too old fashioned now. I think part of me is that. We can all help, John. I know. See, I like the idea that once prevailed is you go along and you say, I'm looking for a room that I can rent. and they give you a cost, and you tell them how long you need it for, and they can let you have it for that allotted time. What happens next? You put your hand out and you shake the other guy's hand, and he shakes yours, and the deal's done. That's the world I want to go back to. Community. That's the way it used to be. Oh, certainly was around here. Look for a room to rehearse your group in. How much will that cost you? X amount of pounds. Shake on it. And deal was done. I can't imagine what it would be like. I'm sure the first thing that happens is you get a huge questionnaire wanting to know all the ins and outs of why you're looking for a room to hire, who's all going to be there, what's it all about, etc., etc., etc. A zillion questions to hire a room. There is only one pub room that I consider using. And the reason I hesitate is because, and I could be very, very wrong here, but I don't want to chase off school pupils, because I know there's a lot of chess being played in schools. Well, Steve, I value my word. It doesn't mean much to people nowadays, though. It's not your word, it's who you give it to. Well, that's a conversation that's here, Woodlander. Here. If you're born into the working class, that's all you have that has any real value is your word and your loyalty and who you give it to. That's how I see it. That's how I've always seen it. So that if I give my word, I do it. Unless serious illness or something were to take place. What else have we got that has any value? Nothing, as far as I know. Jemima, friend has a 20,000 K, 20K square foot unoccupied factory for sale at the moment. The council is going to start charging 4.3K a month in taxes, but no services are being provided. It's an absolute joke. It's bloody criminal. That's what it is, Jemima. This country needs gutted, top to bottom, and from bottom to top. Absolutely correct. I'm sure that's exactly what they are, a council. I was born into the Roe King class, says Budgie. I would hold raves in a factory that size and make some shekels. We've got, I find it very, very frustrating because we've got some lovely side rooms in the town hall. Really are. But there's no way you could possibly afford to hire one. And the way the council has got it all sewed up here is if you hire the town hall, if say you wanted a wedding reception there, you've got to take the catering that comes with the hall. It costs an arm and a leg to hire that town hall. It's absolutely disgraceful. Anglo, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Keir Starmer, and Rishi Sunak are the best leaders the West has got. Damn, we're in trouble. That's for sure. We're in deep, deep shit. And there is that as well, Robert, what you say. So I say, the country needs a good clear out from bottom to top. Well, I'm sorry to dis, dispel your idea here at Unicorn. You've got to pay the money up front before you get access because you've got to take janitorial staff as well. They've got you tied up in every way. Well, I think that's probably true, Budgie. Deep shit is the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure it is. That's how it's done. You've got to pay up front. And you've got to take the bells and whistles they attach to the hire. Such as you can't bring in your own catering. You've got to take the one that comes with the hall. So you can imagine who's got the contract for that. Well, obviously, it's someone connected to the council. The whole town knows it. Yeah, it's not a big secret. This place is run like a gangster's fiefdom. It's so crooked, it's unbelievable. And perhaps I'm not too far wrong if I say that that's probably the way it is in all councils up and down the land. I wish it were. I could tell you last time I had a drink. I could. Last time I had a drink was is when we went out for a nice meal. Chevalier, our old community centre, let us have the use of it for free. Well, that's something positive. I think I had 3 vodkas that night, but I rarely drink these days. Pagan Tree, good evening. Gosh, it's a long time since you were in these parts. Nice to see you. To see you, nice. A glass of port. Enjoying a glass of port at the moment, says the good Earl. Quite right. When I asked about what should I do about alcohol in my life after I had been diagnosed, I'm talking about, and the doctors, the consultant just said, continue as though you didn't have it. Anglo, Steve Craybore up me here about 6 months ago. So pleased he did. He's an ultra mega mad. Well, thank you very much, Anglo. I'm glad you've stayed with us. It's great. It's something that's, I think I can safely say, has always existed here, and that's been really top quality people in the chat. Some people have stayed with the channel, and some people have stayed for a long time and gone. Um, and some people don't last. But I know you've been around for a while. Horse chestnuts. So anyway, I'm off to the hospital tomorrow for a scan. And then a fortnight I'll be in front of my consultant to get an update. And we'll see what she's got to say. So I'll be up really early in the morning. My scan's at 9:45. Oh, I certainly hope so, Pagan Tree. I do. I hope so. Because I keep telling the doctors, I've got reasons to go on living. Uh, but it's all in the hands of the good Lord. Well, I don't think port is a particularly good idea for blood clots. As I say, that was as much as I asked about it. Um, should I stop drinking altogether? Not that I drink a lot. Um, or should I just continue as I had been? And they said just to continue as I had been. Obviously, I told them the kind of the normal drinking pattern. I wasn't scared. Yeah. I was brought up Bass. My mother was a great person for if someone new was out, she would want to have it or try it, whatever it was. So I was very young when she started me on Cadbury's drinking chocolate. Streaky. I think ecstasy thickens the blood. I will send you a few up, even if your blood is the same consistency. They will, they will put a spring in your step. Oh, oh. Well, thank you very much. I won't learn anything tomorrow because I know what happens. You go along there. Nice to see you here, Woodlander, as always. Keep up with the patience on the lawyer front. I admire that a lot. I really do. So take care. Oh, I know you will. I know you will. You won't let it drop now. I know that. Too much at stake, Woodlander. And, I, and I'm sure you're a man of your word, as you say you are. So you're not going to let this go. You'll take it as far as you can. That's why I admire. I think you're right, Anglo. Isn't a glass or two of red wine a day good for the blood and health in general? I think that's a truism. I do. Mediterraneans live the longest. Yeah, well, they've got a lot going for them. They really do. It's one of the things that I certainly took to very easily. The idea of eating food later in the evening when the temperature's coming down, nice glass or two of wine, as you say, decent food, relaxed. Uh, so I think there's a lot of truth to that, Anglo. I really do. The trouble is, I don't really like drinking alone, to be honest. Oh, I go and travel in. Hang on to your hollyhocks. The name of the film is My Octopus Teacher. Is the name of the film. A documentary, according to what Eki says. I haven't watched it yet. Dark red fruits and vegetables are some of the only places you can get monoatomic gold into your system. Not the kind of stuff you can buy over the counter, says Unicorn. Well, I'm sure you're right. I've not even ever heard of that, to be honest. Well, at least Jesus Christ, our Lord, turned water into wine. He clearly knew the truth. Well, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah. Yeah. That's sure, William. That's for sure. Oh, streaky. Foster's turn lager into piss every day. Ah, it's on that. It's the name of the channel, Couch channel. That's what it's on. Well, the boss is going to have a crack at finding it before the stream's over, Treble. You're watching the China Syndrome. Okay. I have no idea. I don't know anything about the film except Eki said it was a documentary. My squid has crustaceans. Elderberry syrup. Look like it is making. Have enough to last through the winter. Sounds good. Anglo's saying, I struggle to find these movies sometimes. What about reviewing movies that are easily accessible on YouTube? There are thousands. I agree with you, Anglo. I do. The stipulation was that there was no point in putting forward a movie that came out of your own private collection. Now, I've got a lot of videos or DVDs as they now are in my collection and in my son's collection. But I excluded that whole idea because I have no doubt, I am confident I've got films in my private collection that you would not find on here. I'm confident of that because some of the films I have are rare, bought for me because they are rare. But this particular website, let me just put it over here. I still got it here. No, I don't. We excluded Netflix because not everyone can afford access to Netflix. We also excluded the other streaming services for the same reason that not everyone could afford to pay for that. But this was a site that was up until fairly recently accessible and didn't cost anything. Well, actually, Ludwig, it wasn't me. That was an Eki film. Eki recommended that Stalker. But thanks for the compliment. But yeah, it was a good looking film. Uh, so I put limitations on this so that everyone had an opportunity. At least I thought they had an opportunity to to watch the film and join in the review process to make it more of a community thing on the stream. And that's what I've always tried to achieve with it. Yeah, yeah, I have it. Maybe William can show us if he's still here. You still here, William? Can you put the name of that? I don't know even know where that is. Oh, that's good. That's good. Now you mention it, we have a community film nights in one of our local halls as well. That's excellent. So, as I say, that was my idea. It had to be accessible to as many people as possible. The website that we used to use, or perhaps you still use it, for the movie reviews. So, if you could put that up onto the screen, William, the name of that website. It was because of the website that allowed us then to review slightly less well-known films and encourage you folks who hadn't seen these less known films to go and watch them. And I know there are so many good films. And in fact, I was wondering about this myself, that the fact that there's something going on with YouTube, because there's an awful lot more films on YouTube now than there has ever been. I see that. I wonder why that might be. I've no idea what's going on. That's it. There it is there, folks. Free Couch Judah. Most of the films of late we have been finding on this channel. My last pick was Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing doing Dracula. I picked that because I assumed that most people would have seen it. It's 11 o'clock, I know. I'm going to leave that up there a wee bit longer, okay? You get a hold of it, Treble M. That's the channel. Thanks for that, William. That's where Stalker came from. Is that what it is? Competing with other platforms, says William. All things bright and beautiful, the Lord God made them all. So anyway, that's the website. Go there and you will no doubt come across it. However, as you're all quietly reminding me, oh, I didn't know that, Steve. I did not know that. Oh, there's Linda. Oh, is it tomorrow night she's on? send some live stream tomorrow with Dawn, Mac, and Jody. Johnny Rotten. I must catch that. So there you go, folks. Don't miss that one. That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one. So anyway, y'all take care. And I'll see you on Friday, God willing. And if you get any good weather, which I doubt, enjoy it. And we'll see what's what. However, as I like to say, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Friday, bye for now. Thanks for all the well wishes of tomorrow. And I'll speak to you, hopefully, on Friday. Take care. Thanks for being here, by the way. That's always important. Thanks for being here. So enjoy the music.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides the fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together now.
But love's much more,
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow,
But a very important glow.
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, past of consequence. Moonbeams rush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
All together now.
but we're much more
Oh, so much more.
than we can know.
Ever.
We are one small globe
What a very important one.
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small globe in the eternal flow.
You take care of yourselves, folks, and I'll do my best to take care of me. God willing, we'll see each other on Friday. If I remember and watch Sensum's live stream, I will not say very much at all. But otherwise, enjoy yourselves. Remember, Sensum's doing this stream, and it should be very interesting. It was nice to see you here again, Steve. I hope you're on the mend. Very good, Robert. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. So take care. Speak soon.